Hey guys, so I did a video a while back about a TikToker called Vegan Rizz, also known as Adriel. Why is that giving me an issue? And how strange she was. And for me to recap that whole video, it would basically be a whole new video in itself. So I'm just going to link that one. So if you want to see her past shenanigans, you can. And then I'm just going to give a quick recap here. But I do recommend watching that video. So it will be in the description. And if I forget, because I always forget, but I will not forget, I'll put it on my to-do list. Subscribe to the like, comment for engagement, because she has been popping off again. To recap the coffee shop, she keeps on filming in public places and filming obviously people in the background, people just passing by, and then she'll do like dances in public spaces and be a bit of a nuisance. She always claims that she's being very respectful. I can't imagine running a business and someone just comes and starts doing TikTok dances in the middle of it. And it is a private business, so people are allowed to do whatever they want with it, ban whoever they want, do whatever they want. She was filming in a coffee shop, she was filming some Snapchats and some TikToks. She even accused them of, this is such like lore, there is so much behind it. She even accused them kind of like some weird mafia situation because it's owned by like an Italian man, and there was a hole in the bathroom that wasn't fixed, and she was trying to insinuate that there was something going on with that building that the Italian people own. And then she was filming some more stuff in there, and then they basically came up to her the next day and were like, hey, you can obviously keep on coming to the coffee shop, but please don't film, like we don't want you to film. She says like everyone else is filming. She went on Snapchat, there were a bunch of like kids on Snapchat that would like have their location on, taking pictures in that location, but the managers are like, they're obviously not, they don't have many followers, so it's fine, but you are like blasting us on a big platform.
So I go to this coffee shop today, right? It's in a small city called Jamestown, New York. People in Jamestown, they recognize me because I have a large following on social media. So I'm sitting in the coffee shop minding my own business. Before I get to working on my social media management, I snap a video of my coffee and I say, this is the best. Right as I get done posting to Snapchat, I set my phone down, taking in the coffee. Both of the owners come marching toward me. This couple right here, they're in their 20s. They're younger than me. I'm in my 30s. They just bought the coffee shop in January. The couple marches up to me. They have a very concerned look on their face. The husband shakes my hand. They both sit down next to me. And they tell me, you can't film in here anymore. I look at them confused. Okay, is there a reason why? And the husband goes into the detail. Well, we want this to be a quiet, low-key environment, laid back. We have people who come here to work and read. I'm not noisy at all. I sit there and mind my own business. I have headphones in. I keep the volume down. As compared to large crowds of people who dine in together, I'm really quiet. Then the wife chimes in, and we also don't want our customers in the background of your videos. Does she say that to the hundreds of teenagers who flood her coffee shop on weekends?
So she then files a lawsuit because at first she claimed it was discrimination of her work, like her job that she has. That's what I remember at the time her excuse was. It was discrimination because of her work.
How did the coffee shop discriminate against me? The coffee shop discriminated me against my job. They were actively discriminating me against my job, and I'll explain how. They said it's more than acceptable for people working to utilize their phones, cameras, photos, videos, whatever that business person needs to do. They told me I can't take photos or videos while I'm in their coffee shop because they don't want my work associated with their business.
But now she is, for I guess, rage bait, so saying that it's discrimination because she's an attractive young female, and she's repeated that multiple times now.
Because I'm a young, attractive female. Just because I'm a young, attractive female, it drives them crazy.
And she keeps on calling her mum to give her updates about kind of how the lawsuit is going, and her mum is like absolutely sick of it and just doesn't understand what her daughter is saying at all.
Mom,
Yeah.
you're not going to believe what just happened.
What?
You know that coffee shop I go to downtown and I sit there for like an hour? Sometimes I make videos.
Yeah.
The owner came up to me and went like, okay, so I went in, I got a coffee, I sat down. I was there for like 3 minutes, and the owners came up to me, sat down next to me, shook my hand, and they said, we appreciate your business. We don't mind if you come in here to sit and work and drink your coffee, but we no longer permit you to film or record in here.
Oh.
As a private business, we no longer permit you to record in here because because it's a distraction for our customers who are working and reading in a quiet environment.
That's so rude of them.
I know!
So then there was another one where she filmed in TK Maxx, I believe it was, or Target, one of those. And she was like filming what she was buying for her kids, and the woman was like, hey, can you not film me? And then she started arguing with her, and then she left, and she was filming her kids, talking to them about how like, why would she tell me not to film?
I got some cool stuff. A speaker, some makeup stuff.
Here, because we don't feel comfortable with it being recorded in here.
I can't record in here?
No.
I'm not recording you.
I know, but just for like the safety, just in case like my voice isn't.
I do TJ Maxx hauls.
I know, but just in case, like they can hear my voice, people's voices.
We're not gonna buy anything.
Okay.
And I'm gonna post this to social media. Alright. Oh my god. Doing a TJ Maxx haul. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. This, I swear to God, only in this town.
She's the worst of the worst. Then she keeps on filming herself either talking smack about her own mum or filming herself calling her mum to argue with her. And it'll be stuff like her mum bought the son like a flick knife from Target, and instead of just resolving that privately, she filmed the whole phone call with her mum.
I gave him the money, and he handed them the money, and they gave it to him.
Oh, he bought it? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I gave him the money. And he gave him the $30, and that was it.
Really? So the store let him buy it with his hands?
Yeah, I gave him a 20 and a 10, and then he did a drawing for another knife, and he gave them the $1, and he filled out the paperwork.
My son filled out paperwork to buy a knife?
It was for a drawing. We did it last year, too.
What drawing?
You put $1 in the bucket, and you get a ticket for a free knife.
Did he get a free knife?
They didn't do the drawing yet.
I am so confused right now.
And then there was also her accusing her mum of allegedly kidnapping and killing a guy that she used to date because she hasn't seen him since or heard from him since.
So this person has been missing for 4 years. And the last person who saw him was my mom, who now claims she's having chest pains because I'm sharing the story. And your advice is for me to not talk about it if she's being physically affected. So what do you want me to do? Just forget about Mateo Wilson? Just forget about it? He's been missing for 4 years. Let it go because your mom is having chest pains. Here's the thing. I shared a story about a missing person who my mom dated. And that's the extent of the story. I'm not making accusations. Nope, I never called the police and told them that my mom unalived Mateo. That's another thing. I called the police and said this. My mom's ex-boyfriend has been missing for 1 year. This was in 2021. I said all of his belongings are still in her basement. I contacted his work and they haven't heard from him in 1 year as well. And I would like to report that he's a missing person. I never called the police in Arizona where he was originally from, Phoenix. But yeah, I never accused her of that. I never said once to police that my mom did this. Why is my family trying so hard to get me to take these videos down if there's actually a warrant for his arrest because my mom pressed charges on him? Like she claims he attempted to unalive her and she claims he assaulted her. Wouldn't it be a good thing that we find this missing person so my mom can receive justice? He's a missing person. I'm telling the world about it. I'm telling the story behind this missing person. So why should my family's health be declining over it? Why are you trying so hard and why are you getting so angry at me for telling the story? I'll stop inserting myself in this matter and I will take all the videos down when you can prove Matthew Wilson is still alive. Find him. Prove he's not a missing person. Find his car. Find him. Prove he's alive. Because if you go in my mom's house, it looks like he never left. All of his belongings are still there, including his wallet and driver's license, prescription medication, his projector, his gaming equipment, all of his skateboards, his clothing, shoes. Why do you want me to stop inserting myself in this matter when I was witness to it?
So you can see we've got a bit of a situation here. Her most recent scandal, I guess, that people are talking about is she continues to film her kids, obviously. She has now filmed her son because allegedly her son was assaulted by some school mates, like people from school, not his mates, like people from school.
My son had to stay after school. It is 5 o'clock. He's still not home. He had issues with Spanish class. He was going to stay after to finish an assignment and leave when it's done. It's 5 o'clock. I still haven't heard from my son. He hasn't walked home. He hasn't called for a ride. I'm blowing up his phone.
At first, she says that he nearly lost his life, and then it goes to he has a chipped tooth and a minor head injury, which either way, being assaulted is not great, but I think there was like a bit of an amping up of the story to make it a little bit more dramatic.
My son has a chipped tooth now because of this kid right here. This is where my son was assaulted and almost lost his life. I thought they were in that new splash pad. They were actually right here in a very old swimming pool.
And she obviously films her son the whole time. Then it gets more, you know, she starts using her platform to expose these people.
I added in these censors because I didn't mention that. She actually shows their face. I was the one that censored their faces out.
This boy did the most damage. This boy ran off with my son's new pair of Nike Jordans. This boy kept kicking my son while he was down and ripped off my son's gold chain.
And once again, do I think kids should be beating each other up? No, but whether like multiple fights a week at my school, absolutely. And kids do incredibly reckless, disgusting, stupid things. It does not mean that in all cases they should be blasted on a platform of 500,000 people. But there is a line that we draw there somewhere, because then those people end up actually, you know, maybe killing someone or permanently injuring them. So like, where do you, I am conflicted on that. Where do you draw the line between letting kids face consequences but not in a public eye, to when do you blast kids? Like, at what point is, like, when would you feel comfortable if you're a parent or something, your kids being blasted on the internet for doing something, or you blasting someone else's kid on the internet for doing something? That's something I don't really know as someone who's not a parent, and I haven't been 15 in a while, so I don't know, like, if someone gets in a fight, you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit of a conflicting situation, because do I think these kids should face consequences for beating up her kid? Absolutely. But is that consequence putting them on the internet, which could then affect their future prospects? Let's say they do want to change as people, let's say they do want to become better people and not assault people in the future and get a job and go to uni. Is blasting them on the internet the best thing you can do for them, or is that just going to push them more down the path of just being bad people? Because once you get kind of penalized in life, you end up becoming more of a bad person because your opportunities are being taken away from you. It's kind of like when someone goes to jail and then they come out and it's on their record and they can't get a job and they can't live a normal life, so then they end up going back to the life of crime because they've been jaded at that point. I don't know, this is a deeper conversation now that I'm having with myself, but if you want to kind of help me out on that logic, please help me. Maybe if you're a parent, or if you like know a bunch of 15-year-olds for some reason, like if you have like cousins or nephews or nieces, like, what do you think? Where do you draw the line between like, let's not blast kids on the internet, to like, maybe they need to be blasted on the internet? I don't know. So she then films like TikToks in hospital crying, clearly for attention.
Doctor's in the room. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, that's true. I also drink some water with the science classroom.
Come here.
What?
I'm glad you're okay.
Me too.
That thing with the teeth had me so afraid.
It's okay.
I'm glad you're okay. We are live right now. I set a 15,000 point gift as a live goal. Those of you who can't send on GoFundMe, if you send us a gift now while we're at the hospital. My son's shirt is totally shredded up right now. He's covered in mud. It's terrible, but we are saving money to move. We have to move as soon as possible, immediately. This is like an emergency situation, and if anyone can help, I have a live goal at the top. We will be live until further notice. We're at the hospital, so.
But then in between these TikToks, she posts these like random cringe, like almost thirst traps, but like rage baity.
Sticking out my yacht for the Rizzler. So skibbity. So phantom tax. I just wanna be your Sigma.
Hi guys.
Hey.
I'm live.
I'm finally
Click the big
returning to
circle.
TikTok Live.
We have a
And it just takes away from obviously how serious she wants the situation to be taken. She also now has compared her son's assault to the Sandy Hook conspiracy theories. You know how like Alex Jones basically didn't believe that Sandy Hook was a real thing that happened. And now because people are questioning and doubting how she is portraying the story and if it actually happened at all, or if it happened the way she's saying it happened, she's basically saying, I'm being like Sandy Hook now.
my son's assault, my 14-year-old son's assault has become a Sandy Hook conspiracy theory.
But she has now done a almost like 50-part true crime series about this whole thing with scary true crime music in the background.
The boys who brutally assaulted my son premeditated the assault. They knew my son had to stay after school until 4:45, so they waited for him. Jefferson Middle School of Jamestown, New York Public Schools was responsible for my son.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but she has also shown the faces of the kids that beat her kid up, and she has shown the location. So I don't know if that's appropriate. Once again, like, where do we draw the line? She is a parent of one of those kids involved in the situation. Obviously, she's the parent of the victim, but she's kind of, you know, she's involved in that situation. She has a massive platform that the other parents / kids don't have. So I think it's hard. It's hard because obviously as a parent, you'd be furious if your kid came home beaten up. Obviously, you'd be furious. So I just don't know where, like I said, I don't know where that line is drawn, and I don't know what I would do as a parent. She has started a GoFundMe to move to a different state because of this whole situation, because like the police aren't taking it seriously according to her, and the school isn't taking it seriously. So she basically just wants to move to a different state.
And right now I don't feel safe in my house because our lives are being threatened. So I have put a GoFundMe together to escape as soon as possible, move out of the city. There's too much high crime. The people here are dangerous. And unfortunately, I live in a city where criminals are raising criminals.
Which I would agree with that. But she is doing a GoFundMe to raise $30K. I just don't think it costs $30K to move. Maybe it costs that much to move to a different state. I don't know. But she has bragged in the past for making $20K a month. And even during the coffee shop saga, she would basically keep on saying like, oh, it's because I make a lot of money. I make a lot of money posting Snapchats. I made this much in one day for making Snapchats. And she has in the past said that she makes $20K a month on average. And there was even a TikTok where she said that she spent $17K in 1 month. And she was like, I know it sounds like a lot, but I have like 3 kids to take care of and stuff.
This month I spent close to $17,000. $17,000. I'm a single stay-at-home mom of 3. So I'm financially responsible for 3 little humans.
I don't know if 17K is reasonable to say like, oh, well, I have kids to feed. So obviously I spent 17K. Like, there are many people that have more kids than you that have not spent 17K a month. They've probably not even spent 17K a year. So that's ridiculous. And then she's obviously got this GoFundMe. She's raised about $4,000 at this point. Emergency move for safety. She has raised $4,180 out of the $30,000 target with 199 donations. So Adriel Sigler is organizing this fundraiser. Our lives have become at risk living in Jamestown, New York. We have to move as soon as possible. My son was brutally assaulted May 2nd, 2024. Please help us move as soon as possible. I do wonder though, because there was like this thing about allegedly her son got jumped because they wanted his like chain that he was wearing. And bear in mind, don't take any of this as me saying he deserves to get jumped. Absolutely not. Assault is never the answer. But what I'm saying is some of that like why he was maybe assaulted? Maybe he was being bullied before that and it just ended in assault. Like typically that's how it happens. You get bullied for a while, it goes from verbal to physical. Is some of that because of her? I just wonder. Like I obviously don't think it's an excuse at all. I just wonder if she has put him in that situation by posting cringe content. And you know kids can be brutal in school, mainly at that age. Kids are awful and they'll find any reason to bully you, even ending in physical assault. And I just wonder if her posting all that cringe content and that rage bait on TikTok and then posting their sons' faces to be like, these are my sons. Then the kids at school probably watch this content like, hey, did you see that? This kid's mum posts like weird rage bait content to like weird sounds. Like kids can be brutal, you know what I mean? And I just wonder if some of that was the reason why that happened. And obviously that's absolutely not his fault and it doesn't justify why the kids did it. But I just do wonder if as a parent she did think about the fact that maybe the reason why this assault happened was because he's being bullied for her content. Because I actually truly don't know why, you know, we don't really know why this fight happened. Was it a fight? Was it an assault? I don't know, you know, either way.
Well, like I said, with regard to Sven, you know, I will absolutely, you know, speak with him and say, hey, look, I had a good conversation with your mom. She's concerned that kids are making fun of you. You know, how can we help you? Because, you know, we don't want you to get in trouble. You know,
they're not making fun of him, they're harassing him.
It's the classic thing of, you know, it's always the second person that reacts that gets caught. You know what I mean? And so if there are things that are triggering him, of course you want to help out Sven, and we will talk to him about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Was it just for that necklace? Like, I don't know, but I just wonder if there is an element of her TikTok content playing into that whole situation, because kids can be brutal. So I just wonder if that played a factor in this. Anyway, she has also asked for money in the past. She raised some money to get her son braces.
I created a GoFundMe for my son. I'm raising $5,700 for his braces.
And to buy a new home.
Hi, Adriel. You think it's appropriate, again, to ask all your followers to tip you so you can buy a house on TikTok because you're scared of someone in the basement? You already brag about how you make $20K a month. You already say how you get food stamps and housing. You literally have a worry-free life from what I'm seeing.
As if, once again, she's not making $20K a month. And there is also like a lot going on with this where she is basically filming people that are talking to her about the situation. So she had a school teacher come into her house to talk about this whole thing. And she had this deleted TikTok where first of all, she talks to her mom like,
Hi, okay, so I just want to say foremost, I am recording this entire interview. Second, my son only has permission to answer yes or no questions without a lawyer present. Third, I will reiterate Sven's assault and then show you the video footage that was forwarded to me.
Yep, that sounds good.
If you'd like to have
Great.
a seat at the kitchen
Oh,
table.
the camera is going to be there if you don't prefer to be on camera. Mom, please don't talk until it's your turn to ask questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Would you like a glass of water?
No, we don't talk because we are busy.
Okay.
My son almost lost his life, so just emotions are high.
Okay.
I'm going to
Here's
start.
what I'm going to do. I'm not really quite sure what my plan is for all of this. So I'm going to go back to my home base.
and then she's also basically just being really like assertive with the teacher, but actually she's just being like really rude and like very like blunt. Obviously we don't know, you know, how the teachers are handling it. Like, are they being as serious about it as, you know, we don't really know the back end, but knowing Adriel and knowing what she's like, you know. So then she had more people from the school come to investigate, which she filmed too, and you could tell they were getting really frustrated with her, and they literally left mid-sentence. They were like, if you want any more information from us, like, just come and see us at school, but like, we're not going to keep on doing this where we come to your house and we're getting filmed.
Because law enforcement has copies of his emergency dental visit where 6 of his teeth became loose and several teeth were chipped.
Okay.
And law enforcement also has this documentation right here. I went to the police department today. Sven had lots of dental work done. And Sven has been suspended.
Very sorry for this.
Sven has been suspended and punished for an incident that resulted in the fact he almost lost his life. These children who assaulted him have committed.
Call my office if you want to have a meeting with regard to what happened and how we can move forward. Okay, when Sven returns. Thank you.
These kids are professional criminals. They know what they're doing, and they'll do it again. Thank you.
More people are now being affected by this. So there was a girl that was present at the fight. They're calling it a fight. She's obviously calling it an assault. So even the person that came to do more of the interviews with her said that allegedly this was a set-up fight, as in like her son knew that he was getting into a fight and they decided to meet up in that spot, everyone crowded, kind of like we were all in school at some point, and there was always this like 2 people decided to fight and they were like 5 p.m. in the park, you know what I mean? And then you come up and then one person wins, one person loses, but they both agreed to be in that fight, right? Now, the teacher is saying that there seems to be the idea that this was a fight that the son also agreed to, but he just lost.
If you have any questions, I'm going to reiterate what happened, and then you can ask Sven yes or no questions.
Okay. So what I have here is a letter.
Okay.
This letter right here. So basically, in our investigation, okay, we interviewed many of the parties involved, and it's 2 things. What happened to Sven is terrible, and we are working within our code of conduct, and we are also working with law enforcement, okay, with regard to that. However, in our investigation, it was determined, which is why I kind of wanted to get Sven's side of things, but that the fight was prearranged, that they met at the park to fight the other young man over what the situation.
But she is saying that he told her that he got set up and that he got assaulted, that it wasn't a fight that he agreed to.
Now, Sven, is that true? Yes or no? Did you consent to it? No. Did you? No. What was the premise of you outside when you saw those group of people? Were they being friendly and kind to you?
Yeah.
So there's obviously those sides of the story. And then there was a girl there that was in kind of one of the videos that was being filmed of him being beaten up. She was like in the background. And her older sister's now come out and said that her sister's getting threats. And people are like walking past their house threatening to like burn down their house because she was in that TikTok.
She shows this comment right here where someone's talking about her sister and says, jump her, because someone else in the comments said like they knew her. She also received messages from someone in her family saying, well, there's going to be more because someone just walked by her house threatening to burn it down.
This is obviously affecting not just her son, not just the people that beat her son up, but also like everyone in the area. So do I think assault is good? No. Do I think people should get into fights? No. Do I think as a parent you should blast people that assault your kid online? I don't know. This is a mixed bag for me. The GoFundMe is so weird to me, and people are now questioning where this money is going. So let me know what you think about any of this. Truly, I'm open to all discussions. Subscribe to the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.